Hello and welcome back to Payday 2 101. Today we're onto the General Fugitive Build. This is for new players to test out the fugitive play style and get a feel for it to see if it's something they'd enjoy before they go into more advanced builds. As you can obviously see, this is post-fugitive patch and a totally new build for me, so this will be a fun one. Before we get onto the actual fugitive skills though, let's do the other ones as they have less skill points in them. First, the controversial one, Mastermind. We've aced Endurance and Cable Guy like usual. Basic Leadership. This is due to a shortage of skill points. Because Fugitive is spread so thin on having such different play styles within it, I needed to pick up a lot of different things so that people could try the build and really get a feel for what kind of Fugitive they want to be. Because of that heavy skill point investment, we could only get basic leadership, meaning that you and your crew's stability with pistols is increased by only 25%. I highly recommend that you get someone on the team with aced leadership doing this, because that extra stability will be a big deal for you because you are using a Kimbo, aka dual-wielding pistols, as your primary. For Enforcer, we invest a little bit heavier in this than we normally would because you will be up close and personal a great deal. We have Transporter aced for the mobility. We have basic pumping iron, so you do extra damage against, doing extra melee damage against non-special enemies. Die Hard aced, mostly for that armor recovery. And stun resistance aced because if you get flashbanged on the front line, it's not going to end well. For Technician, we just have Nerves of Steel aced, and for Ghost, we have the usual stuff that we always go into: aced Sprinter, basic Cat Burglar, aced Fast Hands, basic Shinobi. Now, onto Fugitive. Alright, so we have aced Thick Skin. This is for the steadiness and for the armor of Ballistics Vest, because we will be using the heavyweight Ballistic Vest for this build. That is the heaviest Ballistic Vest that's still a Ballistic Vest and not some kind of tactical vest or flak jacket. We have 1 point in Hidden Blade, increases your melee weapon concealability. This is not a big deal for the kind of Fugitive this is built for, but it's mostly to go up in tiers. We also have Sixth Sense. As I talked about on the Ghost build the last time, it's not necessarily the biggest thing in the world, but it'll help you get that experience. We have Duck and Cover aced for that dodge chance while crouching. We have Run and Gun aced. This is important actually, because movement speed being unhindered while in steel sight is very important for a Kimbo. More on that later. We have Windstone Wolf, so we have an extra body bag, which is quite nice. And for our utility, we have Quick Fix, so we deploy our first aid kits 50% faster. I've not gone into what a first aid kit is yet, because that's a new item. The first aid kit, you carry, they're doctor bags that heal you, like a doctor bag, and you carry far more of them. You can carry up to 14 of them instead of 2. But each one only has 1 use, and it does not recover your downs. If you've gone down 3 times and you're in black and white mocha vision, then this will not restore that. You can still only go down 3 times before you're on your last life before custody. So these are a quick fix to patch yourself up. On aced, your crew members that use your first aids take 20% less damage for 10 seconds. It doesn't say that this works on yourself. And I have seen no tests to see if this works on yourself, so it's a bit up in the air. However, it is still a useful skill that your crew members can grab your goodie bags and get a little bit of immunity, like painkillers. We also have Uppers aced. This is what brings you to having 14 of these things. Normally you have 4, this gives you an extra 3, then an extra 7, so you have 14 first aid kits. We also take Swan Song aced. This is an incredible skill. On on basic, when you reach 0 health for 3 seconds, you're 60% slower, but you're still fighting. This will give you just a little bit of time to run behind cover for someone to help you up, or perhaps if a dozer shot you down, you'll be able to finish off the dozer to clear the area around you. On aced is where this really shines. An additional 6 seconds and you don't need to reload. The wording here is weird. It's not just that you don't need to reload, you don't use ammo. When you're in Swan Song with this aced, you're essentially in Bullet Storm. You do not use ammo, you do not reload. With a Kimbo, this is very powerful. You have a total of 9 seconds when you run out of health with this aced, in which you can mash your mouse button as fast as you want and shoot everywhere you want and everyone you want for a full 9 long seconds, just mowing down everything to make sure that it's clear for your team, so that your medic can come over and help you back up. This is very powerful, and an interesting use of it that will very much change medic builds, and I will be doing a Death Wish medic build later, which will likely incorporate this, is that you can help people up while in Swan Song. That includes using Inspire to yell at people to get up. This means if the entire party goes down and you have Inspire and Aced Swan Song, then there's a chance that when that dozer gets to you and shoots you dead, you can yell at a few people to get up instead of having to rely on Pistol Messiah, if you have it. So that's a very nice alternative. In fact, they could work very well together, even. Next we have Trigger Happy. This is an interesting one. Each successive pistol hit, doesn't have to be a headshot, just a hit, grants 10% additional damage boost for 2 seconds and can stack up to 4 times. With Akimbo, this of course makes a lot of sense. You're shooting very quickly with a rapid-fire weapon. It increases the damage bonus duration to 8 seconds if you have it aced, which means you can go from group of enemy to group of enemy more safely while retaining your damage bonus. This can make you quite the buzzsaw. We also have Bullseye Aced. You regenerate 16 armor for each successful headshot. This cannot occur more than once every 3 seconds, of course, or else it'd be overpowered. On Ace, it's an additional 16 armor. That's really nice because you are wearing decently heavy armor for this. You also have an okay bit of dodge thanks to the perk deck that we'll get into. And you have a lot of armor that needs to be regenerated. You're up close because you're using Akimbo, and you're probably using Beretti 9s, which don't do a whole lot of damage on their own, except for with Trigger Happy. So you're getting these headshots, you have to aim for the head, you're using Beretti 9s, and you're getting armor back doing it, which helps with you being on the front line and likely crouching dodging some of those bullets. This can make you surprisingly very hard to kill despite being very close to the enemy and no kind of enforcer. And lastly, we have Akimbo Aced. You can dual wield 2 weapons. This means you can use the Akimbo tab in primaries and use 2 pistols as your primary. You have 50% stability penalty, unless you have it aced like this build does, where you only have a 25% stability penalty on your Akimbo weapons, which is very low. It increases the ammo capacity of your Akimbo weapons by 150%. So if we go into a perk deck, some people might think you should go into Hitman perk deck for this, because it also is for Akimbo. However, the Akimbo bonuses of getting Akimbo through Hitman is actually weaker than the skill one of acing Akimbo in Fugitive, to help make up for how you could do this perk deck with any tree, whereas this one actually spends skill points. So we're going to Crook instead. With Crook, we have dodge chance up by 10%, we have dodge chance with ballistic vests up by 10%, another 10% for ballistics vests, another 15% for ballistics vests, and lastly, armor recovery rate. This is really, really nice if you're using the heavy ballistics vest, because heavy ballistic vests, normally you'll almost never be able to dodge with a heavy ballistics vest. Now you can actually dodge while sprinting very, very reliably. This gives you a very interesting dynamic that Fugitive allows. Fugitive is a very, very fun build, actually. So if we go into armor here with a heavy ballistics vest, we can see, just standing, you have 15% dodge, or a 15 dodge chance. That's very good. Are you crouching? 30%, that's awesome. Are you sprinting? 40%, that's great. That's more than some guys will have with no armor sprinting. If they don't have a dodge build, you're dodging better than them by sprinting with a heavy ballistics vest. Fugitive can be a really, really good build when used properly. But let's get onto the weapons. First, for the primary weapons, we of course have the Loudcar 4. Now, you'll only be using this until you get to the Akimbo point in your build, so this is just to fill in that gap. We've got the Long Barrel, Competitor's Compensator, No Custom, Gazelle Foregrip, Military Laser Module, Pro Grip or Rubber Grip, Car Quad Stack Mag, Speculator Sight, War-Torn Stock, and Exotique Receiver. As I've explained many, many times, it's just a very solid weapon. Once you do get to the Akimbo stage, however, we're going to be going with the double Beretti 9 pistols. These ones are the most ammo-efficient pistols, and as long as you're good enough with your mouse, you're accurate enough to go for those headshots, and you click fast enough, you will get those kills you need while being pretty ammo-efficient. So on these things, we have the Flash Hiders, we have the Combined Module, which is a nice new nicety, we have the Ergo Grip, Extended Magazines, and the Elite Slide. In the end, you get these beautiful guns with actually surprisingly high amounts of stability, accuracy, and damage considering they are akimbo Beretti 9s, or Bernetti 9s. For a secondary, we're only going with the Cobra submachine gun. Cobus 90 is not on the chart this time because you need something very ammo efficient as your secondary if you're going to be going akimbo, because you're going to be blowing through a lot of ammo, and although you pick up ammo pretty quickly with the pistols, if you're starved for ammo, you need something that's definitely not going to run out as your secondary. So with this, we've got the Competitor's Compensator, we have the Pocket Laser, Wooden Grip, Extended Mag, Speculator Sight, and the Unfolded Stock. That's it for this episode of Payday 2 101. On the next week's episode, we likely go on to another weapon guide, or perhaps even a Death Wish build. If you're interested in this series and would like to watch more, link to the playlist will both be on screen as well as in the description. This series will be ever updating as new patches change the game, so I'll keep you guys up to date. If you're looking for some teammates to play with, why not join in my Steam group, linked in the description. And if you want to keep up with me, I have both my Facebook fan page and my Twitter linked down there as well. Feel free to request I talk about anything in the game as long as I don't already have a video on it in the playlist, and I look forward to seeing everyone's feedback. If you want to see me play some more Payday 2, click the video on the left to see my series Payday 2 A Journey, and if you click the video on the right, you'll see a different game, my current Let's Play. That's it for this video, thank you for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.